Hello, greetings, entrepreneurship. I hope you had some success with your Chapter 3 notes today. I'm going to put a video out there just to help you a little bit, just in case you were confused, or in some cases, some of you might have thought you were able to just get done and be quick. Some of these things take a little bit of time, and I want to make sure you invested the time and put in the right answers for what I was looking for. I've also added an extra set of slides. These slides are pasted in the sub-lesson plan, so I would encourage you to take a look at that as well. Um, you've probably figured that out if you've opened this video and you've seen the notes. So hopefully you've looked at the new stuff in the sub-lesson plan and you've got to this point. So let's talk about this. Chapter 3 is about recognizing opportunity, and it takes a lot of information into account, and let's just go quickly through it. The first few slides are pretty simple. Understanding entrepreneurial trends is what we're trying to do, and we're just going to look at some of the options you have, like internet business. What is an online business? Well, that's pretty simple. You can answer that for yourself. And then I would like you to provide a website of a business that you are not familiar with, like something you've never been to before online or in the real world, a store you've never actually been to. And then I want you to describe its products and its current business. What does it do? I want stuff that's off the wall because that might be something you do. The second thing is a service business, and I want you to tell me what is unique about a service business. What makes it different from other businesses? And then again, provide an example of a website of one that exists that you've never been to, or an image if you just find an image of one, and then briefly describe it. All of that can go right in here. You can just replace this stuff with that. The next one is a home-based business. Um, it is what it says it is. Can you find one online is the real question. And then again, describe it using webs and have a website or an image to go with that. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We're going to do the same thing for a green business. A green business is a business that deals with the environment and doing something for the environment as a part of its business model. So take that into consideration when you're putting the green business in. You're going to want something that's environmentally friendly. As we keep going, social entrepreneurship. This has to do with things like Airbnb, where you lend your time and or your place. Like if I rented my house to somebody to stay overnight, and they just basically paid me to stay here. That's kind of a social entrepreneurship type style. There's a bunch of things out there. I would recommend you Google social entrepreneurship and find some of the options that are out there. Lots of opportunities today. Um, as we keep going, the next thing I want to talk about is a focus on technology. What is unique about this concept? And you're going to have to check that out in the textbook. You're going to have to read a little bit. I want you to research and find some information. I don't want to give you answers. I want you to find some for yourself. Okay, so what is unique about the focus on technology that explains in your textbook? As we keep going, outsourcing is another thing. What's unique about the concept of outsourcing? Um, and can you provide an example of a business that practices this trend? It happens all over the place, but I'm not going to tell you what outsourcing is. If you already know, that's great. If you don't, you better read because it's something that's huge in our market today. In fact, if you watch the debate on Monday night, you saw Donald Trump very upset about the outsourcing situation we have going on in America right now. The next one is a strategic alliance. One of my favorite things in business, and this happens all the time. In strategic alliances, you don't always see them occurring. Sometimes they just happen behind the scenes. But see if you can find one that's happening out in front of everybody where two businesses are kind of working together to benefit each other. All you really have to do is look at a commercial. About any commercial today has multiple businesses involved. So check that out. Try to put that information in here and tell me how that works. As we keep going, corporate ventures, again, something you're going to have to check out and look at, and then provide some examples. I'm not going to go any further into that because I really want you to take a look at that. The next one, this is just an informational slide, and it kind of builds ideas on learning to recognize opportunity. And some of the ways to do that is just being creative and innovative. Maybe you already have an idea or you've recognized an opportunity. The big thing there with those two, you also have to understand industries. If you don't understand how industries work and the different industries that are out there, that may be something that you want to Google right now if you don't know what an industry is. So you can take advantage of your own creativity and innovation and maybe some ideas or opportunities you think you have. I did describe some of that over here. Also, this is called a niche or a niche. It kind of depends on where you come from and how you say it. But if you can find a niche or some people in the Shark Tank will call a niche market, you can have lots of success in the business world. So check that out. And just kind of get some information from this slide. There's nothing really to do here. It's just some food for thought for the future. Let's keep going. Your assignment, one of the things I want you to do is practice brainstorming. So you've got this deck of Uno, but what I'd like you to do using this presentation on the left side, generate two new ideas on the next two slides that can improve this product, and you're answering these four things to do that. So two new. So here's the next blank slide is for the first one. The blank slide after that is for the second one. So you want one in each answering these four questions right here. New versions of Uno, and they cannot be ones that already exist. That totally defeats the purpose. You have to come up with a new version of Uno. And we'll talk more about this on Friday when I come back about why I'm asking you to do this. Okay, so then when you finish that, you're going to come to this slide that says develop your own idea. So now, this is anything. You got to pick a product you know well. Doesn't have to be Uno, doesn't have to be a deck of cards. Any product that you know well, put a picture here, name the item and tell me what it does. Tell me how you think it could be better and what it would take to make it better. What creative element have you added, and is it connected to another product or idea? So did you take a product over here and an idea over there, mesh them together and make something new? Because a lot of businesses are doing that today. So what would you do? What product would you pick and make it better? All right, that's what I'm trying to get you to do here. So answer those questions, put your picture of your idea over here where it says develop your own idea, or you can go to the next slide. There's a blank slide and you can put it all in there. Your choice. I don't care which one you put it on. If you don't put it on this slide, delete the slide. The last thing, you have Chapter 3 assessment. You're going to click on this link. I don't know, I just can't believe that all of you got done all the way through Chapter 3 assessment if you put some legit thought into all of these answers today. So I really feel like you ought to be right here today going through this assessment. And this is Chapter 3 Entrepreneurial Trends Assessment. This is kind of a halfway point because I have another Chapter 3 set of information for you to work on too. So for this one, this is due Friday, and you're going to follow these directions right here. All right, I want you to fill out that information, and the way you'll be scored is right here. There's a 10-to-1 scale on all of these things, and this is how the 10-to-1 scale is graded. If you want a 10, your answer has to be complete in its attempt. It has to be reputable, meaning you have to have evidence to support it, and it's free of grammatical errors, period. You do those three things, you're going to get a 10 on all your stuff. If you want a 1, your answer was complete in its attempt, but it lacked reputable evidence, so you just made it up. You were trumping it up, if you will. Just telling me, believe me, that's not going to work here, okay? I need evidence. That means maybe you need to put a link to a website or quote some source out of the text, whatever you want to do, but you've got to have reputable evidence. And maybe you had 5 or more grammatical errors. That would give you a 1, like if you just decided not to capitalize at all on anything. If there was no answer submitted, obviously that's worth 0. I'm not going to give any points for that. And you can see how it falls. Grammatical errors kind of change the value. If you had not enough or a little bit of evidence, it varies as you go down the line. You can read that. Okay, so that's part 1. And I have a section 2 that I want you to complete as well. So this link is out in your notes as well. It's right beside Chapter 3, but it says Chapter 3, Section 2. And this is a series of questions for Section 2 that I would like you to answer to get you to really start thinking about how, why, what, and just some basic nuts and bolts of what your business is going to be about and how it's going to exist, how you're going to start it, and some things that you really need to think about. Don't take these questions lightly. Really put some thought into these questions because this is going to build for the rest of the semester, and you're going to be building a business plan off of this information. So don't take this stuff lightly. Really invest your time, your energy, and again, if you want to work with 1, 2, maybe 3 people, I prefer no more than 4 total in a group for your business ideas, or if you're going to run a business plan of some kind, no more than 4. It just gets too complicated, and some people just sit. And if you just end up sitting, I'm just going to end up giving you a 0, and you're going to be asking me, well, why am I getting a 0? I'm participating. And I'm going to say, no, you're not. I see you every day sitting there. So don't be that person. I have had people who've tried to do that before and they had to learn the hard way. They got it figured out, but I don't want you to have to do that. I'm warning you now. Don't be the person who just sits there and watches. Okay? So answer these questions. On the last slide, I have an assignment for you. It has to do with a competitive events prep that's on page 75. Um, and you'll see in there, there's and some instructions. It tells you to make an outline. I don't want you to do that. Instead, I want you to create a presentation to be presented to me. I will evaluate you on the items mentioned in the textbook. There's 5 bulleted items. That's 50 points on a 10-point scale for each one. And we will present these things on Friday and Monday when I come back. And I want to see what you can come up with. So I want to see what your solution is for the scenario they give you in there. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm about 11 minutes in now. Good luck. This should carry you into the end of class Thursday if you're putting some real thought into it. I may add one more thing tomorrow. I'll think about it. Please give me some feedback in the community about where you're at. I don't care if it's everybody or one person, but somebody give me some feedback about where you're at. Just put that information in Chapter 4 activities. I'll take a look at it and update as I need to. Thank you for your time. Hope you guys have a good time. I promise I'll be back on Friday. Hang in there for me, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.